A Christian revival across the country. Bible sales increasing over 40% since 2022. Religion app downloads surging nearly 80%. And Christian music Spotify streams up 50% from 2019.
Why are they going to Orthodox church more than the evangelical church? I'm evangelical. I'll say, well, first of all, they want something that has lasted. They want something that is ancient and that is beautiful. Something that has stood the test of time. Something that's not going to change.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
The United States and all of Western civilization has been profoundly shaped by the extraordinary achievements of the Greek people, stretching all the way back to ancient times, long time.
Christian revival across the country. Bible sales increasing over 40% since 2022. Religion app downloads surging nearly 80%. And Christian music Spotify streams up 50% from 2019.
Why are they going to Orthodox church more than the evangelical church? I'm evangelical. I'll say, well, first of all, they want something that has lasted. They want something that is ancient and that is beautiful. Something that has stood the test of time. Something that's not going to change.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
The United States and all of Western civilization has been profoundly shaped by the extraordinary achievements of the Greek people, stretching all the way back to ancient times, long time.
Christian revival across the country. Bible sales increasing over 40% since 2022. Religion app downloads surging nearly 80%. And Christian music Spotify streams up 50% from 2019.
Why are they going to Orthodox church more than the evangelical church? I'm evangelical. I'll say, well, first of all, they want something that has lasted. They want something that is ancient and that is beautiful. Something that has stood the test of time. Something that's not going to change.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
The United States and all of Western civilization has been profoundly shaped by the extraordinary achievements of the Greek people, stretching all the way back to ancient times, long time.
Christian revival across the country. Bible sales increasing over 40% since 2022. Religion app downloads surging nearly 80%. And Christian music Spotify streams up 50% from 2019.
Why are they going to Orthodox church more than the evangelical church? I'm evangelical. I'll say, well, first of all, they want something that has lasted. They want something that is ancient and that is beautiful. Something that has stood the test of time. Something that's not going to change.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
The United States and all of Western civilization has been profoundly shaped by the extraordinary achievements of the Greek people, stretching all the way back to ancient times, long time.
A Christian revival across the country. Bible sales increasing over 40% since 2022. Religion app downloads surging nearly 80%. And Christian music Spotify streams up 50% from 2019.
Why are they going to Orthodox church more than the evangelical church? I'm evangelical. I'll say, well, first of all, they want something that has lasted. They want something that is ancient and that is beautiful, something that has stood the test of time, something that's not going to change.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
The United States and all of Western civilization has been profoundly shaped by the extraordinary achievements of the Greek people, stretching all the way back to ancient times, long time.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to American Orthodoxy. I'm your host, as always, Benjamin Michael. I have an excellent show for you today. We've had a busy week with some anti-white rhetoric in the news, particularly from our dear friends Hasan Piker and Sneako, both of whom we will be deporting. We will be deporting both of them back to a nation of their choice. Well, Hasan Piker is going back to Turkey. Sneako, we'll let you pick. All right, we'll let you pick. You can choose between maybe Haiti or some Muslim nation. But you can pick. You can also pick window or aisle seat. Hasan will let you pick window or aisle seat as well. But you guys are both going to be deported, and I will happily debate either of you anytime, any place, any topic. I would love to have a conversation with either of you. I saw Sneako tweeted this, actually. He said people want to deport him, but no one wants to debate him, which is kind of ironic because Kongman, who you guys know is he's a conservative far-right guy. He's Korean. You guys have probably seen him. He's also very sympathetic to Orthodoxy. I don't know if you guys have seen his stuff, but he also challenged Sneako. He's got a significantly larger platform than me. He challenged Sneako to a debate, got blocked. Then I challenged Sneako to a debate, got blocked. So this kafir is going around saying that people are not willing to debate him. He's really talking about Nick. He wants Nick to debate him. I'm not really sure why Nick won't debate him, to be honest. I think that would be a fire debate, low-key. I'm not going to lie. But I would debate any of them anytime, any place. That being said, guys, we're going to do housekeeping throughout the stream, as always. But I did want to show you some stuff that I saw in the news here this week. So you guys have seen me talk about this before. So 80%, so the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, it's very like leftist coded, to be honest. And actually these guys condemned Fuentes by name and the Groypers by name. There's a whole document, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops said that basically that movement is condemned by the church. So they're relatively, infiltrated group. Thank you for the super chats, guys. As always, I'll go over all super chats at the end. But anyways, so this U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, 80% of their income is from migration and refugee services. Guys, I've made this point. We talk about the JQ. The JQ you can think of as the source of all these problems, right? But the Roman Catholic Church, particularly through the Vatican and Islam, these are sort of the tools that they use, and it's sort of the bats that they swing, right, to destroy the West. And I've pointed this out, guys, with particularly the Roman Catholic brothers and sisters in humanity that are Catholic but are aligned, ideologically with what we stand for on this show and what we stand for on my platform. Those of you guys who don't know, I'm an Orthodox Christian, and I'm far right, and I quote the saints, I quote the modern hierarchs, who basically say a lot of the same things that I do, as far as, preserving identity. We have modern archbishops talking about preserving identity and demanding the state uphold migration policies that are going to reinforce identity in general, national identity in general. And I am not saying that this is the official teaching of the Orthodox Church, but what I am saying is, unlike the Roman Catholic Church, my views are actually compatible with the Orthodox Church, whereas the modern Roman Catholic Church, these views are incompatible with it. And you see this with the Groyper movement and its incompatibility with the Vatican, particularly the sort of branch of the Vatican in the U.S., which is the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, which again has condemned them. But all this to say, guys, you can see the revenue. You can see how much of a problem these NGOs. And then I had a Catholic have the audacity to say, oh, there's Orthodox NGOs too. Bro, do you know it's like a fraction of a percent? It's like a fraction of a percent of the NGOs that are ushering in mass migration are Orthodox. The vast, vast, vast majority of them, and this is across the entire world in Europe, so it's not just the fact that that Orthodoxy isn't as prevalent in the U.S. I'm talking about all of Europe, right? It's a fraction of a percent. This is like when you tell you tell a woman that the average height of a woman is 5'4", and she says, but I'm 5'6", right? That was basically how I felt interacting with this Roman Catholic. And so all this to say, by the way, someone's asking about interracial marriage in the chat. It is actually insane how obsessed people are with this topic. The amount of times I get asked about this topic when I literally don't speak on it. Like, I don't understand why people always need to come and ask me about things that I intentionally don't speak on. Right? The other thing, another one is like original sin and like all these topics that are like cause all this debate within the church, right? And so like, listen, I have a right to not speak on these topics because I see bigger issues. Okay? So like, I don't understand why people constantly will be asking about things that I don't talk about. It's like, bro, like there's a reason I don't talk about these things. Okay? And actually that's something I want to talk about with the Fishback thing. Is a lot of the Fishback haters don't understand this nuance, right? They don't understand how nuance works. They don't understand the concept of focusing on the major issues, right? So that you can get elected and actually do good for those major issues. They don't understand that a lot of this stuff, I make this point all the time. I think the best example of this point is World War II history. Okay? We have Spurgs that are going to like focus on like, Schmolikost data, right? And they're going to basically spend all their time trying to like find out the exact number and prove that, it's not X number or whatever, right? Guys, you're doing too much. All you have to do is talk about Weimar Republic. Talk about the ethnic Germans that were ethnically cleansed from the land after World War II. Talk about the bombing of Dresden. Talk about the Katyn massacre, where the Soviets framed the German Nazis for slaughtering a bunch of Poles. These are universally agreed upon historical facts that I'm listing out that most people don't know. So you can get all spurgy and conspiratory about Schmolikost numbers, or you can just focus on the major things like the 14 million German ethnic civilians that were ethnically cleansed from lands who had no ties to German Nazis at all. How about you focus on that? Because most people don't know about it. How about that? So it's like you guys focus on all the wrong issues. All right? Like I hate to say it, but like a lot of you focus on all the wrong issues. And you purity spiral too. I cannot stand purity spiraling. Okay, someone like Fishback is clearly doing a lot of really good things for the movement. He's doing a lot of really good things for the movement. And he's by far the best candidate that actually has a chance to win his election. By the way, we're probably going to live stream his primary. So all this to say, guys, do not purity spiral. Purity spiraling is how we accomplish nothing. And by the way, it's also Fed coded because that's what Feds do. Feds purity spiral. Feds infiltrate these movements and they're like, oh, this guy did X, Y, Z. Oh, Fishback was defending Israel 4 years ago, so he can't really be our guy. And it's like, dude, like a lot of us were defending Israel 4 years ago. I guarantee you most of you were. I was sort of agnostic on the issue. I really was agnostic on the issue at that point, right? I was starting to notice some things, but most people have gotten J-pilled in the last 4 years. And these are the same people that are purity spiraling about Fishback. So it's like, give the guy a break. You know what I mean? Are there some red flags? Yeah. There's red flags with just about anyone in politics. Guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but right now, there are no genuine people in politics. The closest thing is maybe Massey. But even there's some questionable things with Massey too. So right now, guys, that is something that I would love to see in the coming years, is someone rise up who actually is genuine, who doesn't have these major red flags. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe we will see that in the coming years. And there's a lot of things that we're working on behind the scenes, guys, that I can't talk about right now. But there's a lot of things coming together that I'm really excited about. And we are going to take this country back. I am extremely white-pilled on this, guys. We are going to reclaim our nation. We are going to reclaim America, and we are going to reclaim the West. That is going to happen. Because we have the Holy Spirit. We have Archangel Michael on our side. So I am white-pilled. I've talked to you guys many times about Coach Rianu and his perspective on winning, right? And how, what matters much more than temporal victory is what? It's carrying on the legacy. It's carrying on the torch of the faithful that went before you. And so you know what, guys? We're going to lay it all on the line for temporal victory. We are. And I've told you guys, this is my homeland. This is my birthright. And if you are an American, this is your birthright too. This nation is your birthright. This is the dirt that your mother birthed you on, and it is part of you, and you should be fighting for it until your last breath. And that's how I feel about this country. But you know what? If we go down swinging and we lose, guess what? We still win, according to Coach Rianu, because we are carrying on the legacy of the faithful that went before us. Did our saints who were martyred by the Ottomans, did they lose? Absolutely not. Because they were living faithful to everyone that went before them, to the chain of people that went before them, the chain of ancestors and saints that went before them. That's what it actually means to win, by the way. Temporal victory is great. The Byzantine Empire is great. Tsarist Russia is great. All of these things are great. Look at the entire Coach Rianu's entire movement. They had temporal victory for a very brief period of time. They ended up losing it because the monarch at the time actually was choosing between either killing Coach Rianu or making him his right-hand man, actually, and he chose to kill him. And so he was martyred in some woods in Romania. But guess what? Was Coach Rianu a loser? Does anyone really consider him to be a loser? No, because he carried on the legacy of the faithful that went before him and now inspires the likes of you and me. And who knows what God is going to do through us? God is going to do remarkable things through us by his grace alone. We get to be the tools for that. God will rise up anyone or anything. He says to the Pharisees, he can rise up the rocks, right? He can rise up anything to do his will, but we get to be part of it, guys. We get to be part of it. And yes, Coach Rianu should be a saint, and actually, I believe he is a saint. So yeah, all this to say, guys, it's a rant, obviously, but it's unfortunate that the Roman Catholic Church is in this condition. And to my dear Roman Catholic brothers and sisters, you guys should come on over. The water's warm, all right? Come on over to the Orthodox Church. Let's fight this together with an actual grounding that can support us and is not going to ostracize us and is not going to reinforce mass migration. like the Vatican is, right? I mean, what it's like every other week, Pope Leo is talking about migration and not mistreating immigrants. He's barely made an in passing comment about preservation of the West. He made like a generic comment about how, like, you know, preserving your people is good or something. And like, of course, all of the far right guys are like, oh, he's so based Pope Leo. It's like when he walked past, there was a flag that looked like it might have been an LGBT flag. It wasn't, but it looked like it might have been. And everybody on right-wing Catholic Twitter was like, oh, so based. He looked away from the flag that looks like a gay pride flag. And it's like, you guys are so pathetic. Like, the crumbs that you guys just slobber up. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's actually pathetic. It's actually pathetic, guys. I'm sorry. Do you not see that this man is literally he's helping to usher in the Antichrist? The way that your church talks about Muslims and Hindus celebrating Hindu feasts, Pope Francis releasing a document literally saying they don't endorse mission work to Jews. And then you have people that have the audacity on Twitter to show one patriarch giving out a Quran to people. You have the audacity to equate those two things. Because we have 9 patriarchs. Does it mean we don't listen to our patriarchs? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we actually have accountability. We actually have accountability at the top. You do not. You have no accountability. You have one dude who is your sole rock of the church, and he is out here saying you don't endorse mission work to Jews. Go look it up. It was the document on the anniversary of Nostra Aetate. It's called The Gifts and Calling of God Are Irrevocable by Pope Francis. It's a formal document. He explicitly says they do not endorse mission work to Jews. Pope Leo celebrated a Hindu feast via the official Vatican website. Literally released an official message from the Vatican celebrating a Hindu feast. Every other week, he's talking about mass migration, about not mistreating foreigners and all these things. Your NGOs are funding mass migration. Your NGOs are funding mass migration. So I just don't know. It's actually sad when I see you guys fall for this nonsense, thinking that Pope Leo is based or something. He's worse than Francis. How do you guys not see this? Anyways, there's my anti-Roman Catholic. And then people will call me Jewish. I will have Catholic guys calling me Jewish for this. Like, bro, how would your church feel about you calling me Jewish as an insult? I'm curious. How would the Pope feel if you called someone Jewish as an insult? Considering, once again, your church. And also, I have a whole thread on this, by the way, guys. I have a whole thread on the different heretical, because they are heresy, right? Different heretical quotes that have the Pope has said on the topic of Jews and their relationship with the church. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not on Twitter much these days, guys. I'm mostly on Instagram. So these are. Listen, I intentionally left out on this thread. I intentionally left out the stuff about like anti-Semitism, because I don't want Catholics to be like, oh, they're just condemning hate. Oh, no, they're not just condemning hate, bro. Oh, no, they're not. That's not what these quotes say. By the way, this is one of their saint popes. This is who they think is based. They think that JP2 is based and he's a saint. They ask for his intercession. They venerate him. Here's him literally kissing the wall With Judaism, therefore, we have a relationship which we do not have with any other religion. They are our dearly beloved brothers, and in a certain way, it could be said they are our elder brothers. That's not just condemning hate. Here is the quote I was just talking about. Literally says, in concrete terms, the Catholic Church neither conducts nor supports any specific institutional mission work towards Jews. Oh, it's just loving your enemy. Have you never heard of loving your enemies? Sure thing, buddy. That's all this is, right? This is just loving your enemies, saying that they don't even endorse mission work to Jews. Are you kidding me? Again, JP2, Mr. Ma-based Pope. The Jewish reading of the Bible is a possible one in continuity with the Jewish scriptures. Christians can learn a great deal from a Jewish exegesis practiced for more than 2,000 years. Isn't that interesting? Oh, he's just condemning hate, guys. It's just loving your enemies. Really? You sure about that? You sure about that, buddy? Are you sure you're not coping? Are you sure you're not coping? This is heresy. Again, same document. The Jews are participants in God's salvation. This is theologically unquestionable since God has never revoked his covenant with his people, Israel. So wait a minute. What do Jews have to do with Israel, Francis? That's heresy. This is basically Christian Zionism. He's tying the Jews to the promise made to Israel. Hello? Israel has nothing to do with the Jews. That's heresy. We are the Israelite race as Christians, as explained by the church fathers, like St. Justin Martyr. Again, same thing. Pope Benedict saying the exact same thing, that the promise made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is the promise made to Jews. Modern day Jews. And then Mr. Ma-based Pope Leo, he's going to usher in a crusade, guys. Trust. He's going to usher in a crusade. Trusting in the assistance of the Almighty, I pledge to continue and strengthen the church's dialogue and cooperation with the Jewish people in the spirit of Nostra Aetate. Literally, the very day this dude gets elected. And then immediately after, he called Jewish Catholic dialogue very close to his heart and very precious. So you guys can see. So these guys in my DMs saying that I'm Jewish for pointing this stuff out. Do you not see how ironic that is? You're calling me Jewish for pointing out your church's heretical sympathies to Jews? I don't understand how that's Jewish. And also, why would that be an insult to in your church's eyes? Your church thinks that they are part of the promise, that they're Israel, according to Francis, that you don't endorse mission work to Jews because they're fine. That's what Francis says. So what's wrong with being Jewish in your paradigm? I'm confused. I'm confused. They got rid of, this was part of my thread too, in the old missal, they used to call them the God-killing Jews, and now they've apologized for this. In fact, I've heard Fuentes talk about this. They've now apologized for this and saying that that it was anti-Semitism to call them the God-killing Jews, even though that's literally what all the fathers say. So anyways, guys, that is my little rant that I was not planning to do. But please like the live, guys. Please like the live and subscribe. Guys, my Clippers have been killing it over here. Shout out to those guys. They have been absolutely killing it. on my account. You guys have seen all my old videos popping up. I am about to share with them my old Voice of Reason debate, which you guys know that I did do a reaction to, but they're going to post it in clips onto my account. So, Lord willing, you guys will be able to watch it in the form of clips. They're posting right now my debate with Pine Sap. I actually did debate a Groiper, and I absolutely slaughtered him. You guys can go watch those clips. They're right here posted on my account. Other than that, guys, please like and subscribe. Thank you for the super chats. As always, I'll go over all super chats at the end. And I'll be doing a members-only live stream. I go over different Saints quotes about World War II leaders and about race and nationalism. So you guys are welcome to, if you want to support me monthly, you can sign up for memberships. And I'll be doing a members-only live stream at the end of today's stream. All right, let's dive in here into the main. Well, actually, I did see this Jesse Lee Peterson video with Brian Shapiro, with Jewish man Brian Shapiro. So I do want to go over this real quick before we dive too far in here. This was absolutely hilarious. And you guys know I did a full debate with Brian Shapiro, and I absolutely cooked him. So you guys can go check that out. It's posted right here on my account. You guys can go watch that. But this clip was just absolutely
no such thing as racism.
Tell that to Martin Luther King and his family.
Where's Martin Luther King now?
You see, bro thought he ate with that. Tell it to Martin Luther King.
Yeah, he's dead.
I
What about
rest my
slavery?
case.
Was that racism?
I rest my case.
What about slavery?
Brian.
What was slavery?
Hold on, Brian. Let me tell you this.
Jesse, what was slavery?
Brian, it wasn't racism, that's for sure.
What was
There, so obviously he's like kind of rage baiting, right? But I've pointed out all the black slave owners in America, 3,700 of them to be exact. And not only that, but there were also white slaves in America. Not just the North African Barbary pirates, not just all the Muslims who enslaved white people. No, there was actually white slaves here in the United States of America. So there were white slaves and they were black slave owners. Now, am I saying that was the majority? No, obviously that's not what I'm freaking saying. I'm just saying, I bet a lot of you guys didn't know that, or if you did know that, it's because you're into like alternative history, even though these are questionable facts that are uncontested by historians.
slavery?
It was.
Oh, really? It had nothing to do with the color of their skin?
No.
Well, you
at
are
all.
just the most ignorant
It was
person
about the
I've
economy.
ever talked to in my life. So wait,
Brian, hold on. Calm down.
it was about the economy.
Right.
So why couldn't you own white people?
Right.
What you're saying is so offensive.
White people
Wait,
have
so
been owned.
slavery had
White
nothing
people
to
been
do with race?
enslaved too.
You literally could.
There
and
were
you're
black
especially
people in
early on.
America who owned slaves, Bernie.
Okay, so you're saying racism doesn't exist. Is that
Right.
the point you're trying to make?
No,
you don't think
I
racism
know
exists in
for a
this country?
fact, and
Yeah.
without a doubt, there's no
Yeah.
such thing as racism.
I feel like you're the black version of Alex Jones. I feel like that's who I'm talking to right now. I feel like you are out of your mind. I know you've had some health issues, and I'm trying to be respectful.
I don't have any health. Now, if you're saying
somebody-
that I'm saying
okay.
this because I'm black and slow, that's a different thing.
It has nothing to do with the color of your skin.
By the way, guys, I want to go on Jesse Lee Peterson. I know Jay went on. Excuse me. I know Jay went on. I DM'd them on Instagram, so you should go harass their comments to have them on. Excuse me.
And I just think that you're extremely ill-informed. So hold on, just for the record, the Ku Klux Klan is not a racist organization. Is that
No.
what you're saying?
No, racism
Okay,
doesn't
I mean, this is
exist.
By the way, guys, the KKK is like a Masonic psyop. It's like very Fed coded, to be honest. But those of you who want to know some interesting history, you should look into the founding of the ADL and its relation to the KKK. Because there's some very interesting lore there that you guys should look into. Definitely not something I can go over on a YouTube video, but just look into the lore behind the creation of the ADL and the KKK.
just the dumb.
I'm
it's just-
about
this is-
Not
I mean,
the
what-
creation of the KKK, but the KKK's involvement in the creation of the ADL.
What are we?
Our
What are
battle
we
is
even
a
doing here?
spiritual battle, Brian. It's a battle between good
Jesse,
and evil. It has nothing to do with
Jesse,
color. But I
Jesse,
got to
you're
ask you
just
one
not-
thing about the civil rights movement. You brought that up. Did you
You want to talk to me about the civil rights movement, and you're not even willing to admit the Ku Klux Klan is a racist organization? You might be the most ignorant person that's ever.
But how can they be
interviewed me. Go ahead.
racist when racism doesn't exist?
Because they've literally murdered people because of the color of their skin, and it's not my fault. You're too stupid to understand
There's
that.
no proof that they murdered people because of the color of the skin.
Yes, there is. There
No,
are
it's
people
not.
in jail right now. There are people in jail right now that have committed hate crimes, that have killed and murdered people back in the 60s.
By the way, this is not what he's referring to, but like you guys see, like there was a couple that they literally just like they waved the Confederate flag like past like a black community, and they got like 20 years in prison. Meanwhile, you have black people in Oregon who are like literally have assaulted white people who got no punishment at all, not just no jail time, no criminal punishment at all. Thank you for the super chats. As always, I'll go over all super chats at the end. Because the person that they assaulted said the N-word after, so their assault charge got waived. So that's the current justice system. Brian has the audacity to talk to me about the criminal justice system and its supposed injustice towards black people, which I think is probably true in some cases, but he'll never talk about the injustices against white people. Sorry, but you shouldn't get 20 years in prison for waving a freaking Confederate flag. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And you assault somebody, you should go to jail. It doesn't matter what they said to you after you assaulted them. That's also insane. So, all this to say, guys, he wants to talk about the injustices against black people in the justice system, but never wants to talk about, how about Chud the Builder and his bail that he had to post? That when you compare side-by-side cases, was substantially larger than someone of a darker skin tone who had a almost exact same situation. How about that? He's never going to talk about that.
Because of
You have
hate.
no idea what you're talking
It
about.
was because of hate, not because of color.
A hate crime. Do you understand the definition of what a hate crime is? You don't
All
even know what that
crimes are
means,
hate
do you?
crimes.
No, all crimes are not
When did
hate
that time you
crimes.
see
There's
the
a-
love crime?
By the way, Brian is so normie that he literally does not have the ability, guys, to exit from the like U.S. law. Like everything he looks at in like U.S. law. His response to me in my analogy of how you wouldn't let a criminal into your home, or obviously you would kick somebody out who broke into your home, whether or not they were otherwise a criminal. I was equating this to immigration. You know what his response was? Coming over the border is not a felony. It's a misdemeanor. Whereas breaking into your home is a felony. Bro, you think I'm making the analogy based on U.S. law? Are you this slow? Are you this slow? Bro, it's not this complicated. It's really not that hard to understand the analogy. It has nothing to do with U.S. law. Okay, it's about the underlying morality behind law that drives law. And it should be a felony for them to come over the border illegally. And by the way, most of them commit identity fraud when they are here, which is a felony. So
will you listen? There's a category in our laws that say if you kill somebody and murder somebody because of their religion or the color of their skin, it is a harsher punishment. You don't even know what the definition of a hate crime
When
is.
did that time you see the love crime?
Did you not listen to what I just said?
I understand what
Murder.
you're saying, but I don't agree with that.
There are different. It doesn't matter whether you agree with it or not. It's in our court system. Don't you listen?
Right.
There are different categories of murder. No, just listen. I'm trying to educate you on one thing in this whole interview. Please listen. When you commit something called a hate crime and you're convicted, it means you murdered somebody because of race or sexual orientation. It is a separate category from just a first-degree murder. It's a harsher punishment. How is it possible that you do a talk show and you don't even know what a hate crime is?
All
How
crime
is it
are
possible?
hate crime. There's no such thing as love crime.
All right. Okay,
But
whatever
Brian,
you say,
let me
Jesse. Let's
ask
get
you
this
this
over
about
with.
the civil rights movement. Did you know that the civil rights movement was the worst thing that ever happened to the blacks and to the country? Other than it was worse. The only worst thing other than that was abortion. But did you know that the civil rights movement was the worst thing that ever happened to the blacks?
I feel like I'm talking to the black version of Charlie Kirk right now.
So first he said he was the black version of Alex Jones. Now he's the black version of Charlie
No, that's
Kirk.
not true, sir. And there's many African Americans that would disagree with you on the civil rights
Genetic
movement.
fallacy.
And Martin Luther King being a hero.
See, with his white savior complex, he has to, because he's counter signaling a black dude, he has to be like, don't worry, there's lots of black people who agree with me, so I'm not being racist.
You guys were
Martin
in the
Luther
back
King
of
is
buses.
not a hero. Martin Luther King is a zero.
You guys, okay, well, you're an
By the way, guys, you guys know that Malcolm X and George Lincoln Rockwell both liked each other and they both hated MLK. Just a little fun fact you can look into. So literally the founder of the American National Socialist Party and the leader of the black supremacists, they supported each other. And they both hated MLK.
You're an for saying that. You're an idiot. Well, you can laugh all you want. You're not a serious person.
Why are
You're
you
calling
calling my
Martin Luther.
name?
Guess what? You're a zero. You're a buffoon. You have me come on your show and you're going to insult Martin Luther King.
Bro,
and you're going
is
to call Martin
Brian
Luther King
ever is Brian ever not crashing out? Is this bro ever not crashing out? He's always crashing out. Like he's always just appalled by somebody's racism or anti-Semitism or inhumane treatment or something. Like bro is just like literally always crashing out.
He died so that like you could do shows like this. He died
No,
so
he
that you
didn't.
have the freedom.
That's not true.
Oh, please. You are such a
Yeah, America will not be a Hispanic majority because most of you are going back. I hate to break it to you. Not all of you, but a lot of you are going back.
buffoon. It's an embarrassment that I even agreed to do this show.
And we're ceasing immigration as soon as we get into power. We're ceasing it altogether. So a lot of you are going back, and a lot of you are and then no new ones are coming in.
That
You
whole
are such a
civil rights
buffoon.
movement was about taking over the hearts and minds of the
Okay.
black.
So let me get this right. To Jesse and all of his listeners right now, let me make an announcement. So to Jesse, Martin Luther King is a zero, but Donald Trump is the great white hope. You are a moron, Jesse. You're
Brian.
a moron and you are brainwashed. Don't Brian me.
Brian.
You're a moron is what you are. And I
Brian.
can't wait to
Oh,
post this
I'm
on
so
social
dead.
media to show everybody what an idiot you
See,
are.
this is another thing that Brian does. Brian did this with my debate with him too. Is he was like posting clips of me like thinking that he was like cooking, and it's just him crashing out, and like it's just me just like sitting there like chilling, and everybody's just clowning on him in the comments. Like literally everybody. He got completely ratioed by like several comments every time he posted a clip from my debate. Brian has no understand. But guys, a lot of these people, a lot of these normies, they don't know what's coming. They do not understand the wave that is coming. Like they think I'm an extremist. I'm a moderate. I keep trying to explain this to people. They don't believe me. I am a moderate compared to the wave that is on its way. Okay? Like, that's what someone like Brian does not understand. He genuinely does not understand this.
Martin Luther King is a zero, but Donald Trump is the great white hope. You are an imbecile.
So anyways, I thought that clip was absolutely hilarious. Again, like Brian's out here crashing out, not realizing that he's giving us free entertainment. Brian is just like, bro, like genuinely the biggest LOL cow like on the internet. Genuinely the biggest LOL cow on the internet. This is so guys, we're gonna dive into our boy Sneako over here. Our American patriot, Sneako. That's a joke for legal reasons. Because he's going to be deported back to the Muslim nation of his choice or back to Haiti. Whichever he'd prefer. But this is him like a month ago now. This is actually what triggered the conversation with Alex Jones and with everybody calling him to be deported.
Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Oh no! Fuck you! This is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan. Islam will be in every household. Inshallah, the whole world is Muslim. Welcome to Mamdani's New York.
By the way, guys, it's always funny. He is Jewish. I'm going to show the clip of that. I have a clip of him admitting he's Jewish. I have a couple clips I'm going to show you guys. Bro literally admits that he's Jewish. So it's funny that he says that Nick is Jewish. He says all these people are Jewish when he literally is Jewish. But guys, it's always funny when these Muslims talk about the world being Muslim, right? Because I don't know if they're aware that their hadith, I actually wasn't planning on bringing this up. There's actually a hadith that literally says that that the world is going to, that Islam is going to be small again. So it's so funny. These people say that, oh, the world is going to be Muslim. The world is going to be Muslim. So this is a Sahih hadith. Those of you guys who don't know the grades, different grades of hadith, Sahih is the strongest grade out of the three. It's Sahih, Hasan, and Da'if. And it literally says that Muhammad said that Islam began as a small religion and will return to the state in which it began. So it's so funny how these Muslims will talk about, oh, the world will be Muslim. The world will be Muslim. No, it won't. Not according to your hadith. Actually, it's self-refuting. You literally refute your own religion by saying the world will be Muslim, because your religion teaches that the world will not be Muslim. So, hate to break it to you. So let's we're gonna watch Sneako's reaction to Fishback's original comment. So basically that video we just saw was what triggered like all of these horrible optics for Sneako. Even Muslim apologists are telling Sneako to like chill because his optics are so bad. Like Sneako's optics are horrendous. Like he is actually going to help us deport Muslims. I actually am very thankful for Sneako because he's genuinely going to help us deport Muslims. He's gotten so many people on the far right to unite, by the way. Like the far right, which genuinely gets so divided over these issues, we're all united on deporting Sneako now. So thank you, Sneako. You're the GOAT, low-key, for that. I cannot wait to deport you. So let's see what Fishback had to say here.
You think that Sneako should be deported? I think there is no place for the kind of weird calls to Islamify the United States that Sneako's called for. I don't think...
By the way, this guy on the right here, so originally I thought he had converted to Islam. And it turns out he sort of almost converted, but he didn't actually convert. And he's Canadian, I think. He wanted to have me on his show like a long time ago. So anyways, he pray for him because it looks like he's looking into Christianity again. So, would love to have him, become Orthodox. He seems like he's gotten a little bit more based. At first, he went like really strong on like the countering, anti-Islam propaganda stuff. He was running the whole like Islam is a religion of peace and all this bullshit. And now he's like starting to wake up a little bit to it. So pray for him. I think his name is Tyler. Is it Tyler Hockley or something like that?
That is well received or well respected here. It's not a reflection of our society. Yeah. And if he wants to do that, he should go back to the Middle East and call for it there.
James Fishback, I promoted your campaign. I brought you on my stream. And even when it was pretty clear that somebody was botting it, didn't say anything, and you said on my stream too, oh, it's probably just natural growth when I had...
Bro has such terrible physiognomy. I'm sorry. Like, I can't look at... Like, I barely can look at
35,000 live viewers with James Fishback on. Did nothing but promote him. And now he's saying go back to the Middle East. He says he's Christian. Christianity's from the Middle East too, dum-dum.
Yeah, so except Christianity is what America was founded on. He makes the same garbage point. When he actually talks. Tyson Hockley, thank you. But anyways, he makes this same garbage point to Fishback. Guess what? America was founded under Christianity. Okay? Name a Muslim nation that was founded on Islam that's doing well. You're not going to be able to, because if you could, you would move there. But no, you're here. You're in America. You want to ruin my country. You want to ruin my homeland. You want to destroy my birthright, which is why we're going to deport you, Sneako.
Where are you going to go? I was born in America. I was born here. Go back to the Middle East. You're literally echoing Elon Musk propaganda. You say that you're against Peter Thiel and the tech cabal, and you're saying word for word what the Zionists and Elon are saying. For what, a clip? Islamify the United States? I said, inshallah, the entire world. Had nothing to do with America. I want goodness for others, just like Christians who say every knee will bow, every tongue confess. Did nothing but amplify you, Fishback.
Except, again, America is first of all, Christianity is true. Islam is not true. That's the first thing. Second thing is Christianity does not produce inbreeding en masse for over 1,000 years. It doesn't produce child marriage of as high as 76% in certain Muslim countries. It doesn't produce these low IQ societies like Somalia, where their IQ is literally 68, which is too low to be a McDonald's cashier, by the way. Because in order to have a basic entry-level job, you need at least a 75 IQ to be able to function in a basic job like a McDonald's cashier. Okay? So these are the nations, these are the societies that Islam produces. And that's why we don't want it here in America, Sneako. If Islam is so great, go back. Go to all the places where you're going to be welcomed. You love going to Mecca. How about you just stay? Just stay. You talk about how great it is. Go back and stay.
He's kind of making Muslims look bad. Like, he's kind of making Muslims look more extreme than they are. I think most Muslims are good people, but he's kind of making them look like they're a little bit like cuckoo, you know, that they want to take over America, stuff like that.
The Muslims that I have met on the campaign trail, they respect this as a Christian nation. They recognize the truth. Our founding fathers were not Muslim. They were not Jewish. They were not Hindu. They were largely Christian.
Yeah, a lot of them weren't. Fishback.
That's not true. That is literally objectively false, Sneako. Objectively false. Well over 90% of the founding fathers were Christian. Well over 90%. Oh, a lot of them weren't. And guess what? Who were you thinking of? You thinking of Ben Franklin, who actually became way more sympathetic to Christianity later in his life? You thinking of Jefferson, who is like the sole anomaly, and who still had held Jesus's actual words in the New Testament to a very high level? By the way, way higher than you Muslims do, because you think it's all corrupted. So, this is actual sophistry. This is what I would love to debate you on this, Sneako. I'll debate you on any topic, but I would love to debate you on whether or not America is a Christian nation. I will debate anyone on any major creator on that topic. There's like a couple topics, guys. I would debate any major creator at any time. Whether or not America is a Christian nation is one of them. America is not a nation of immigrants. That's another one. By the way, I'm going on Sean Kelly. To be the main. I'll be the main guy. It's me versus 10 people. Basically talk about whether America is a nation of immigrants, whether white people have committed a disproportionate amount of atrocities in history, things of that nature.
Masons. Also, they were Protestant. They weren't Catholic, you stupid idiot. You're Catholic, right? So you have allegiance to the...
Actually, that's not true, because there were founding fathers who were Catholic, and the founding fathers saw Catholicism, for the most part, as a valid expression of Christianity. It's the same thing that applies to Orthodoxy. So this little, this would be like if he was living in like a Shia nation, if he was living like in like Iran, for example, and I was like, oh, well, you're Sunni. It's like, bro, they're both Muslim, clearly.
Vatican. If you're America first, then you can't put the Vatican first. The founding fathers were fleeing.
Oh my gosh, that is so retarded. So, guys, historical Catholicism has the same teaching as Orthodoxy. All right, like that you should be fighting for the prosperity of your nation. That is an inherent virtue. Okay, so I don't know what the hell he's talking about with that.
From Catholic monarchy in Europe. That's why they wanted America. Protestants rejecting Catholicism.
That's literally not true. They were rejecting Anglicanism. How retarded can you be, Sneako? By the way, he did an IQ test live, and it was like 93 was his IQ. It was funny when I had a rant go semi-viral on Instagram saying he was low IQ, his 93 IQ, and everyone was like, 93 is pretty generous. It's like, well, yeah, maybe, but he did take a test, and that was what it came out to be, was 93. So yeah.
So if you want to follow the founding fathers, either become a Freemason or a Protestant.
Again, most of them were not Masons as well. I brought this up, guys. The over 40, so there was 55, 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence and Constitution. Over 40, 45 of them were confessional Christians, meaning they abided by a Trinitarian historical confession, and they were not Masons. The vast majority of them were not Masons. Was there Masonic influence? Yes. Everyone hears me say this, and they're like, oh, this is Cope. Guys, of course there was Masonic influence, but to say that the majority of them were Masonic, or that the majority of them were not Christian or something like this, or that the majority of them were like deists, utter nonsense and complete ahistorical bullshit.
Otherwise, you're a grifter.
And so if I went to Saudi Arabia and moved there, I never would, but if I moved there, I wouldn't pretend it was a Christian nation.
Right.
And I don't see Muslims pretend.
John Adams, Treaty of Tripoli, 1797.
Oh my gosh. The Treaty of Tripoli, Sneako, Sneako, let's talk about it. The Treaty of Tripoli was an agreement made with Barbary pirates who were unaliving and graping our people on ships, our merchant ships. And guess what? The very line you're talking about is not in the original Arabic of the agreement. Not only that, but also Also, it was retracted just a couple years later. Just a couple years later, we passed a very similar agreement with unanimous vote, and we got rid of the clause you're talking about. He's talking about a clause in the Treaty of Tripoli that was literally just an agreement with some Barbary pirates that says America was not founded on the Christian religion. That's what he's referencing. Meanwhile, every state constitution except for two has explicit Christian language in it. Original state constitution. What is ecumenism? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Nothing I'm advocating for is ecumenism, because I'm not advocating for praying together or partaking in communion together. So that's ridiculous to call anything I'm saying ecumenism. But anyways, Sneako, it's actually so retarded when these people bring up the Treaty of Tripoli.
For governor of Florida, you should know what the founding fathers said. John Adams said that America is not a Christian nation. We have freedom of religion.
And that's not even what John Adams said. John Adams voted on it. By the way, I literally can't look at his physiognomy. It's actually so bad. It's actually so bad. Oh my goodness. I don't want to say something stupid. You guys know what I'm talking about here.
And I will continue to practice it.
That this is a Muslim nation.
Facts.
But when Sneako goes out there and says America will be Islamified, I didn't even say that. Most Muslims agree with that. Yes, but he again is trying to call attention to himself, and it's good to see people
he again is trying to call attention. Fishback, your entire campaign has been trying to grift off of influencers and just say what's popular right now. And oh look, here I'm with my wife that no one ever saw before. Now I'm.
By the way, there's word that his wife might be Orthodox. There's a possibility that Fishback's wife might be Orthodox. This is why someone like Sneako is as much of an enemy as the Zionists. Okay? Sneako is as much of an enemy. We call this Islamo-Bolshevism, what he's advocating for. This is Islamo-Bolshevism because it's all the leftist anti-white bullshit of Bolshevism just with Islam slapped on top of it. That's basically what he advocates
against this. So syntax. So I'm trying to call attention to myself. He was stream sniping I Show Speed. I try to call attention to myself. Then why are you waiting in a parking lot trying to get a clip with Speed?
Because that's what you do on campaigns. You need exposure and publicity. Like these people, like the actual inability to understand how politics works, to understand how the world works. So let's actually watch the actual clip I was referring to. Because these guys had a 7-minute back and forth, and I have not seen the full thing. So we're gonna watch this together. So Fishback calls into Sneako's show after all this went down. So basically, order of events, as far as I know it, was Sneako did the video, saying this is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan, saying the world will be Muslim, America will be Muslim, all these things. Then Fishback got asked about it, whether they should deport Sneako. He gave that video response. And then Sneako, I believe, that last video was before this call-in, I think. We'll see.
James, I'm live.
What's up, man?
Got back from Dearborn. It's just like the Middle East and has the best food you must visit.
I will. What's up, James?
We're going to deport
not much.
Everyone in Dearborn, Michigan, by the way. Henry Ford's hometown, by the way. Very unfortunate. Speaking of, this was totally that was a great transition into this. By the way, guys, you can pick up over at undergroundcanon.com. They have The International Jew by Henry Ford, which was from basically a compilation of his newspaper. Here, I'll put the link in the chat here. Undergroundcanon.com/Ben. I'll put this in the chat there. Undergroundcanon.com/Ben. So head over there. And also, when you check out, use code Ben. Use code Ben for a discount. These guys have books that you literally can't get anywhere else. Looks like they just got a new-ish kind of vibe on their website here. But yeah, you can pick up a copy of Henry Ford's compilation of his newspaper on The International Jew, it's called. Go check it out. And like I said, please use code Ben at the checkout when you that way you can get a discount. And also guys, you can pick up St. John Chrysostom's Against the Jews is on there as well. All kinds of good stuff that as far right people we might enjoy. It's also got stuff by leftists. It's got communist works you can study. Lenin's writings. You want to study the enemy and how they operate. So yeah, just go check it out. The books you can get on around canon are things you cannot get anywhere else.
Much. Sounds like I don't have your vote anymore.
Well, you want me deported?
Sneako, what I said was that calls to spread Islamism in America, if that's genuinely what anyone wants to do, then those people would be better off spreading that in the Middle East. What I said.
Where's Catholicism from?
Oh my
James?
gosh, look at his little smirk. Where's Catholicism from, bro? You are so retarded. America was founded as a Christian nation. And Maryland was literally Catholic. This is so retarded. I have collabed with Conrad. I did 2 episodes with them. If you guys go to their Substack, you should listen to our episode together. And I've been meaning to have them on as well. I want to have them on my show to talk about some Russian things.
Nation was founded on the principles found in the Old and New Testament.
You didn't answer my question. Where's Catholicism from?
How is that relevant?
What we're talking about is whether or not you want to spread, or anyone, by the way, I didn't say you, I said anyone who would want to spread Islamism in America. There are countries that are receptive to Islamism. They are in the Middle East. Actually, a few of them are in Africa, and many of them are actually in South Asia. And I think it's a very clear statement that if you want to spread Islamism, or anyone wants to, you're far better off doing that in societies that are receptive to it. That's it.
So I shouldn't be deported.
True.
First off, you're a U.S. citizen, so
he's got to, of course, fish. This is where people don't understand how nuance works. Like he's a politician. Like he has to give a particular answer. Like we're probably not at a point in the world where he can literally say, like, yeah, I'm going to deport you, because he probably also needs the votes of a lot of Sneako's followers as well, right, to get into office. What I imagine Fishback will do is he'll. I mean, if he's smart, he'll be a lot stronger once he's actually in. He'll be a lot stronger in his rhetoric.
How that would work. Second off, I'm running for governor. I don't have control over immigration policy. Third off, any form.
Well, Fishback has said elsewhere too, by the way, that he, like, even though that isn't the role of the governor, like he sees it as his responsibility. So like you could tell he's definitely playing the game a little bit here with this rhetoric. He's trying to get Sneako's vote.
In political ideology that Americans are opposed to, like
Catholicism.
Americans aren't opposed to Catholicism.
Well, it's not about Americans. It's a foreign religion, right? It's based in the Vatican, not America.
It's not a foreign religion. What? Bro, are you retarded? What are you talking about? It's a foreign religion. When America was founded on Christian values and on Christianity itself.
Based in the Vatican. Catholicism is a worldwide religion.
Yes.
The seat of Peter is in the Vatican. But look, I'm just calling, man. I'm calling to say hi. I saw you said some stuff about us. In any event, my view is really simple, and it wasn't actually.
Wait, is he Chinese too? I thought he was Haitian. What is he mixed of? I know. So we're gonna talk. I'm gonna show the clip later. He does say that he's Jewish. So I am gonna talk about that later on in the stream here. So he is Jewish, but I didn't know that he was Chinese. I thought he was just Haitian. And is he Haitian and Chinese? What is he?
Directed at any one particular person. It is that a political and religious ideology known as Islamism, that being spread in the United States is not something that's well received. It's not something that's welcomed. And those who intend to do that, no matter what party they're in, no matter who they are, have a better chance of being successful at that in other countries. And we shouldn't welcome that in America. It's just that simple, man.
He does. Yeah, I have a clip of him getting caught with that as well. There, Theodosian.
Okay. Well, what is Islamism? You keep saying this.
Look, listen, I just saw that you said some stuff. I just wanted to call. Again, I just wanted to say that at the end of the day, we all want what's best for the United States of America. And I think that a political ideology
little smirk
that is not consistent with the founding values of this country.
Like Catholicism.
By the way, anytime he has anyone that's actually a serious debater, he gets absolutely slaughtered. Like, you guys know how I feel about Nick Matau. Like, I don't like Nick Matau. Nick Matau absolutely slaughtered Sneako. It was a bloodbath. It was a debate bloodbath. By the way, there was almost a literal bloodbath at Sean Kelly 2 days ago when there was an IDF soldier that was like talking about, the commands that he followed basically to unalive like women and children in Gaza, and like a far right guy like almost like assaulted him. It was pretty. You guys may have seen the clips.
Founding fathers were majority Protestant if they were Christian. The rest were deists. Some of them were Freemason.
The only. Okay, so he's correct that they were majority Protestant. Yes, but that's still Christianity. Again, this is like if I was like, oh well, Sneako, you're living in Iran, but Iran is a Shia country. It's like, this is so retarded.
Protestant Christians were literally protesting the Catholic Church. That's what Protestant comes from. They were protesting that Catholic monarchy. And so you're a Catholic.
They were actually protesting Anglicanism. They were fleeing any other Protestant nation.
That doesn't found any basis from the Founding Fathers.
John Carroll signed the Declaration of Independence. He was Catholic. But look, I digress, man. I digress. Again, this is, I think, the issue with much of our politics these days is it becomes too personal as opposed to the big picture issue, which is Islamism is welcome in other countries in the world.
You keep saying, but what is it? You keep saying this word Islamism. We haven't defined it. What is that?
It's a well understood term, actually. It's well defined in scholarly research and academic literature. My point is this, man, is at the end of the day,
he probably just means like extremist Islam, which is actually just Islam. It's actually just Islam. Like, that's all that actually is.
We need to remember what this fight is really about, and that's all that I would say. And like I said, I just wanted to.
Well, if you're against the tech cabal because you don't want Peter Thiel to be putting data centers in Florida, then when Elon Musk, a trillionaire African migrant,
always brings up Elon. He always brings up Elon. Oh, Elon, more billionaires. Bro, we don't like them either. And guess what? At least Elon's rhetoric is pro-white for the most part. And in his position, that's pretty impressive. The amount of pro-white rhetoric that obviously he's a billionaire. There's going to be a lot of problems with the things he does and says. But he's been pro-white, way more pro-white than you. You are literally wanting America to be replaced.
And calls for my deportation, and you follow that populist rhetoric that's going viral on X, it sounds like you have picked a side. And so if you're really against the tech cabal, then you wouldn't be repeating that propaganda from Elon.
What? So wait, he's saying that because he's advocating for Sneako to be deported, it means, and that's something that Elon Musk also said, therefore it follows that he's supporting Musk and the overall AI data center agenda. Talk about sophistry. Oh my goodness. I
didn't repeat any propaganda from Elon. In fact, I'm one of the few people that stood up to Elon when he did a lot of the craziness in 2025. What I have said is that no flock, no data centers, no Palantir. I've never taken a penny from Palantir. I never will. We have an existential fight that violates so many of our fundamental liberties enshrined in that Constitution.
Guys, please like the live. Please like the live and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. I'm a far-right Orthodox Christian. I talk about the JQ. I talk about Islam, not radical Islam, Islam in general, because all Islam is radical. And I am anti-replacement and pro-America. I love the United States of America. Please like the live and subscribe.
That's what I'm fighting for. And you're going to, I'm always going to be someone that's going to call out that kind of craziness, as I have from the very beginning.
And I'm going to call it the
someone said because Aquinas built off Aristotle, all Catholics are pagan. I hope that's got to be rage bait. As an Orthodox Christian, bro, even still, that's got to be rage bait. You know how many church fathers referenced Aristotle, bro, and used his philosophy, gleaned his philosophy? This is actually the argument I make with the founding fathers and why we can glean from American founding fathers. Church fathers would glean and reference Aristotle. They would glean and reference Origen, who was a heretic. And also they would baptize the things that were wrong, right? They would disavow the things that were wrong. We can do the same thing with the founding fathers.
Even if you want me deported for exercising my free speech rights and my right to practice my religion, freedom of religion, separation of church and state,
you don't have that right, as we've shown, guys, multiple times. I'll show you again. That's not what the First Amendment was about. That's not what the First Amendment was about. Guys, this is such a... this is why I want to debate this dude. I want to debate this dude so bad because he literally doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, he just repeats these things, right, that he thinks are true. Hang on. Oh, wait, that's the wrong... Hang on a second. That's the... Hang on a second. You guys know that I've brought this up. Those of you who follow me and know my content. So this is Joseph Story's commentary on the Constitution, and this is the second most authoritative commentary on the Constitution, right behind the Federalist Papers, which, by the way, also say they're not quite as explicit, but they say common religion, common ancestry, common language and values and culture. They say that was what America was founded on, and that's what it's for. But this is him talking about the First Amendment. He says this: the real object of the amendment was not to countenance, much less advance, Islam or Judaism or infidelity by prostrating Christianity, but to exclude all rivalry among Christian sects. And guess what's included in this? Orthodox and Catholic. Orthodox and Catholic, because that's how they saw it. Notice it doesn't say Protestant, it says Christian, so that would have included Orthodox and Catholic. So the purpose of the First Amendment was to make sure that there was no rivalry among Christian sects, which, by the way, obviously this is not, obviously as Orthodox, we want it all to be Orthodox, right? But this was the framework which we can start with. We have to baptize this, right? We can work politically with them without entering into ecumenism. This is what I've advocated for. And to prevent any national ecclesiastical establishment. So that was actually, so this amendment he's trying to say was about Islam. Explicitly, the commentary on it, the second most authoritative commentary on it, literally says, actually, no, Sneako, it is not for Islam. It is not for Islam. It was for Christianity. That's what the amendment
What I want to say, I want to spread Islam, and I will continue to.
So
then you're going to be deported.
What I care about in this country is making sure that the people who have made our country great have an opportunity to benefit. That means standing up to the H-1B scam. That means standing up to BlackRock and Blackstone from buying up our homes. That means protecting free speech. That means protecting the Second Amendment. At the end of the day, that's what I care about. Again, man, I just call. I didn't. It's not like an Alex Jones debate thing.
It's also funny that he thinks that, free speech, bro. You don't have free speech under Sharia law. You don't have free speech under Sharia law, which is what he's advocating for. So there's another paradigmatic contradiction. We can talk about what free speech actually means, right? It actually means freedom to basically, like, how the founding fathers understood freedom. There was basically two competing thoughts, like during particularly the Enlightenment period that the founding fathers would have referenced, right? You had basically Catholic writers talking about freedom in a virtuous sense, right? And then you have John Locke talking about freedom in a libertarian free will sense, which is problematic, right? And so we would affirm the former, right? We would affirm freedom to do that which is virtuous, which actually, by the way, the founding fathers in practice, this is actually what they enforced, because the founding fathers enforced blasphemy laws. In fact, there's 6 states that still have blasphemy laws on the books. 6 states still have blasphemy laws on the books. So the founding fathers did not have the same understanding of free speech that Sneako does, and what he's advocating for, Sharia law, would also not permit freedom of speech.
But in any event, that's that. Have a great night.
You too. Best of luck against Byron Donald. I think you're a better option, but...
Well, look, but listen. I'm trying to be the lesser of two evils in this. And that's what I've said is that I'm not running against Byron Donalds. I'm not running against the guy who just ran $10 million of AIPAC-inspired ads against me during the World Cup for calling out the anti-Semitism law. I'm the only Republican that's actually done that. I'm not the only guy.
That was signed in Israel, by the way. That anti-Semitism law was literally signed in Israel.
I'm the guy who's being attacked from that. So I don't want anyone to think, oh, I'm voting for Fishback because he's a lesser of two evils. I want people to look at our campaign and say, I'm voting for a campaign because it stands for something. And that's what I'm fighting for, man. So if that's something you want to vote for, great. If that's something you don't want to vote for, I'll still be your governor. And I'll still fight for people all over the state, whether or not they particularly agree with me. So,
and we believe in free speech, especially for Muslims too. We have the right to say that, inshallah, the world's Muslim and more people will become Muslim.
So you have a right. So what? Do you guys understand the contradiction there? So you have a right to call for the end of free speech, because that's what that would mean. This is how retarded this is. Look at his stupid ass face.
That's free speech. That's freedom of religion, right?
No.
We can go on and on about this. It's just, again, we spoke about it. We can agree to disagree.
You disagree you disagree with my free speech rights?
Dude, this is not like a
I disagree that you should be able to call for the end of free speech. That's literally a contradiction.
You because you've had me on your show before, you've had me on your stream. We had a good.
I don't believe in this libertarian free speech that he's basically employing in order to weaponize. Once again, he's trying to weaponize he's trying to abuse the freedoms he's given in this country to actually push for the eradication of free speech.
I'm just calling you. It's not really a debate. I think we can agree to disagree. So I appreciate it, man.
All right. Take it easy.
So that was the actual interview, guys, or not interview, but the call-in that Fishback did there. And I just want to show you a couple things that I think are funny about Sneako that you guys maybe have seen. So you guys maybe saw. So Andrew Tate actually did a whole video on Twitter saying that Sneako was gay, and that he hit on him. And then I stumbled upon this video, which I think is interesting.
Have you ever imagined yourself...
So he's attached to a lie detector test here. He's attached to a lie detector test. And now, don't get me wrong, lie detector tests are not perfect, but he asks two different questions here, and he gets a curious response.
Have you ever imagined yourself doing something with a guy?
No.
He's breathing.
I'm done. No. Wallahi, God showed me that intel shit.
I never did until you...
You're fucking...
It gets worse. It gets worse.
I slept next to you. I literally slept in a bed next to this thing. I'm actually disgusted. No, I'm fucking disgusted, bro. Have you ever watched gay porn?
No.
Take a look.
Show it! Oh my God! Have you ever had chlamydia or gonorrhea?
Yes.
All right. So, anyways. So yeah, bro literally failed the lie detector test when asking if he was gay or if he's ever watched gay porn. So bro might be cooked. And then he's also, I also discovered this clip that I did not know about. There's so many clips of Sneako, guys. There's another clip where he says that he enjoys being cucked. Oh my gosh. Anyways.
You are mixed with what? Filipino,
Haitian,
Hungarian.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so someone said he's Chinese, so he's Filipino, Haitian,
and Jewish.
And Jewish? Jewish is not a country, bro.
12%. No, but my grandfather, we found out he was half Ashkenazi Jew. I didn't know. I never met him, and he didn't tell my grandmother. He didn't tell his wife. He didn't tell anybody. He kept it a secret till he died.
So he kept the secret that he died?
So he left after World War II, moved to Haiti, married a black woman, and he was half Yehud.
MashaAllah, brother. He knew what he was getting himself into.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Why can't you look at me anymore? He's like, why you look afraid of me now?
I'm not afraid of you, bro.
So bro really has the audacity to go out on here talking about how Nick is Jewish, talking about Jewish supremacy and all these things. not realizing that not only is he allying with left-wing Jews to accomplish his anti-white agenda, but he also is literally Jewish himself. Also is literally Jewish himself. So that being said, guys, to sort of kind of switch gears into Hasan Piker, I'm actually going to show you a video of Sneako talking about Hasan.
It's really like, bro, let's be real about Hasan Piker for a second. I'm going to cover this extensively today. He's in the field. He's getting it done.
Getting what done? This is the insane stuff about, this is this anti-Zionism at all costs. So guys, Hasan is a Turk. I think he's homosexual. I don't know if he like actually is homosexual, but he dresses and acts like he's a homosexual. And he is a raging leftist, like actual communist, like openly a communist. And basically Sneako, he also hates white people. He's called for the unaliving of and the graping of white people. And so the Sneako support of him is no surprise here. I'm going to show you guys, the reason why I'm going to show you guys some stuff with Hasan, he's also going to be deported. We're going to deport both of them. But I'm especially going to talk about Hasan Piker in a second here because of his anti-white rhetoric.
The DSA is the most successful.
And just the rhetoric that he gets away with. I'm actually going to skip, because we're not doing great on time, I want to get to, maybe we'll come back to that. Before I dive into the actual Hasan content, guys, I want to show you there. Before he even got into leftist circles, this is Hasan Piker making an attempt at being a red pillar.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is Bro Tip. This week's Bro Tip is about bringing out the alpha male in you. A few things to consider when you're thinking about Lady Gaga as the top contender for Babe of the Week should be the fact that she might have a penis. The fact that Lady Gaga might have a small penis does absolutely terrify me. Here's why the 5-second rule works. Because when you start thinking for longer than 5 seconds, you're immediately not thinking with your dick and also thinking with this pesky thing up here that we like to call our brains. So once you start thinking with your brain, you're immediately going to psych yourself out. Come back again next week when we discuss the legendary question of all time. Old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark?
Oh my gosh.
I want to say thank you to Miley Cyrus for showing off her camel toe at the...
All right. Anyways, so that was Hasan Piker's attempt at the red pill, guys. That was his attempt at the red pill before even getting into leftism. Pretty... Honestly, I don't even have words. I don't even have words for that. Just insane shit. Just insane shit. So anyways, I want to show you guys. So what makes Hasan like so insane to me is how much he's able to get away with and still have a platform. So Asmongold was just booted off of his streaming platform, but Hasan Piker is still permitted, and you guys will see. This is a 20-minute clip. Let me see if I can playback speed here. We'll increase it to 1.25, or maybe we'll increase it to 1.5 because we're already at it's already 3:30. So we're gonna I'll push through this here. I want to show you guys just the insane stuff that he said.
Gunshots at the Trump rally? Shut the fuck up. No.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it. We fucking totally brought it on ourselves, dude.
America deserved 9/11. Calling for here. I think we're going too fast here. This is going a little bit too fast. It's going a little bit too fast.
Gunshots at the Trump rally? Shut the fuck up. No.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it. We fucking totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit.
Literally calling for
every
the
type
unaliving
of armed resistance
politicians
against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank. Doesn't matter if it's your favorite podcasters like Wife that participate in these raids. The violence that the Palestinians engage in an act of resistance against this illegal occupying force is literally legal.
And these optics are just horrendous. Like, you know, he does a lot of stuff on the, you know, the pro-Palestine stuff because he's far left, right? And that's a topic that we see eye to eye on. These leftists and these Muslims are so bad. They're so bad at debating that issue, and their rhetoric and their optics are horrendous.
Definitionally legal. If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. Okay, the moment is
how does this guy have a platform, bro?
Clear. You got to sick like the ACP guys on him. Okay, that's it. You got to get one of those like Haz al Dink type motherfuckers to just like eat his ass alive, you know?
874 Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like, that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning. So I think that people are a lot more radical now. This is a time, is an unprecedented time to really get others on board. Someone has to do it. See, when I say that, everyone knows exactly what I mean. I think that shows that there's a lot of anger.
This is like the there was a member of Mamdani's campaign that was literally calling. She was literally basically saying, like, she was talking about jihad. She was talking about how the campaign was a form of jihad. Which, by the way, any Muslim who says that jihad isn't violence, the Hadith literally says that the best jihad is that which includes bloodshed. That's what their Hadith says explicitly. So jihad is the best form of jihad according to the Hadith, right? But anyways, there was a member of Mamdani's campaign who was literally saying, like, calling for jihad and then saying, like, how gangster are you? Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, very clearly, like, calling for violence. And yet these people have no repercussions. If someone on the right did that, bro, they'd be in jail instantly.
There's a lot of resentment.
If someone on the right, just imagine, as we're listening to this, I want you to imagine it's just somebody on the right.
Untapped revolutionary potential, as a matter of fact. Well, my understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods.
I have no idea what the statement is on that lean hysteria. So basically, oh, okay.
I'm sick and tired of it. Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers.
How?
And letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this shit, man? Slice them up.
I think this is just
this is guys, you ever wonder why all these Kirk memes go viral on left-wing Twitter, like basically making fun of his death? Like, it's because of people like Hasan Piker that normalize this. And guys, it's people like Hasan Piker that remind us that the left and right are real categories. They are real categories, because this right here, even though he's anti-Zionist, he is our enemy. He is as big of an enemy as the Zionists are. He is possibly a bigger enemy than the Zionists are, because he's a Bolshevik, which is, I actually think, is significantly worse than Zionism. Those are basically the two heads, heads of Jewish thought, right? Is Bolshevism and Zionism, right? Left wing, right wing. And I think the left wing are way worse. They're both bad and they both need to be dethroned. But right now, a lot of people are waking up to Zionism, but they're not waking up. No one's looking out for Bolshevism. And that's basically what Hasan advocates for.
One dude who is genuine in his actions and maybe, a little bit brain broken, regardless of your background, any kind of fucking Zionist tendency should be treated in the same way as being a fucking rabid neo-Nazi. And you shouldn't even let someone be the fucking local dog catcher, as Felix was posting, if they've ever exhibited any sort of like.
Guys, thank you for the super chats. As always, I'll go over all super chats at the end. And please like the live and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed.
Positive feelings about the state of Israel. I'm just so serious about this. Him and Drew are the same. Tim Pool and Destiny are the same. If there was obviously a real karmic justice out there, or any sort of real lawfare out there, real rule of law out there, they would be treated in the exact same way that journalists were treated for defending the Holocaust. Okay? For their consistent support of Israel's genocide, they would be tried in the exact same manner that members of the media were.
By the way, Tim Pool has kind of woken up to this. Like, Tim Pool, first of all, that's still an insane thing to say, because Tim Pool has always been relatively careful about his rhetoric, but even he is like waking up to like the Israel stuff. Like, now he's like agnostic on Israel, whereas like for a while he was a supporter of Israel, right? Which is what he's basically acknowledging, the atrocities that are taking place there
during the Nuremberg trials. To me, there is no difference between Tim Pool and Destiny in that regard. There is no difference between Tim Pool and Drew Pavlov in that regard. Like, there's that fucking weird Australian Cypriot pervert. What is his name? Drew, whatever the fuck his name is. He's like the guy who's like, I want to kill, Chinese nationals or whatever.
Meanwhile, he literally praises Mao He literally praises Stalin. So he has the audacity to talk about the National Socialists, but he openly praises the USSR and Mao. Mao is like arguably the worst. Like, he is guilty of the most atrocities of any world leader in history. And Hasan supports him.
He should just go to jail.
He thinks
I don't know
he
why
was
he's
a
not in
hero.
jail, but that Drew Pavlov, yeah, that guy. Also, I want to apologize to Jackson Hinkle. This is the one apology that I will be delivering to the American Communist Party, specifically Jackson Hinkle. I don't know what the fuck he did, but I heard that he bullied Drew Pavlov off Twitter. Broken clock. Critical support. Vile boy that my soldiers brought in and were like, this boy right here, he's going to be a good warrior.
Drew Pavlov's son is going to be the Janissary, not mine.
No, he's a terrible janissary. Well, I think he would make for a horrible janissary. I would never allow him to do it.
We would need to get to him very early before Drew destroys his mind.
Yeah. Back again next week when we discuss the legendary question of all time.
Here it is.
Old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark. Cock block you because they're fat. And
Hasan said that
we're
he had sex with a
red pill
prostitute.
stuff.
As authorities allege that women were
You guys already
exploited
saw the red
and
pill
possibly
stuff.
trafficked. More than 900 police, tax and customs investigators have raided Berlin's biggest brothel. Prostitution is legal in Germany, but police charge that the 4-story brothel complex constituted a brutal and illegal system that severely exploited dependent women.
Bro, this guy
They were
is
fucking
such a
raided for
like literally there's so many layers to how much of a piece of shit this guy is. Like, there are actually so many layers, and yet he has a platform. He has a significant platform.
Basically, like he's saying, like, it's fine. They weren't raided for sex trafficking, but it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna keep lying about it. Okay.
I just read the article, dog. Why don't you pull it up?
Dude just called babies militants.
No, I understand, and there are baby settlers as well. But there are baby settlers as well. There are babies in the settlements.
Think about
Do you see how terrible these people are at debating the Israel issue? These people are actually their optics are horrendous. Thank you guys for the super chats. As always, I'll go over all super chats at the end.
People, their only offense was going to the Jewish museum. They were killed because they attended a Jewish event. I mean, I got to say, Kate, in many ways, this was inevitable. I mean, think about the data. We've talked about it before.
Shut up. Go back to Auschwitz. 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 Remember 9/11.
So wait a minute. He was just talking about the Nuremberg trials and the Holocaust and how basically that's how these people should be treated that are pro-Israel. And then he was just making a Schmauschwitz joke. Really?
Of 4 dead Israeli hostages, 2 of them children, on stage, an offensive propaganda message blaming
offensive propaganda message.
Says she's undecided because of concerns about anti-Semitism. Beth?
Hi, thank you for being here. Thank you for remembering we need to bring the hostages home. Of course. The rise of anti-Semitism and violence.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah Bays. I mean, listen, these motherfuckers are better read than you by a million. Like, it's not a broken clock situation. He's read more books than you could ever imagine. And also, ultimately, he is regarded as a pretty brilliant.
He also said something is like, I don't know if it's on this compilation, but he literally said that he literally said Iran is like not that bad to LGBT. Like it treats LGBT pretty good. Like, and guys, listen, I'm not one of these cringe, like these normie cons are like normie cons try not to make Muslim nations sound based, challenge impossible, because these people who use like the gay rights stuff is just like, it's so retarded to me as a conservative. But like, that actually is something that is retarded for someone in Hasan's paradigm, where he basically defends Muslims, right? But also is like very pro-LGBT.
A person, in terms of like everything that he's done, this is Hasan Nasrallah, I believe the General Secretary of the Hezbollah, right?
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament.
Do we like them or no?
I think as a resistance group, they're pretty successful against Israel. I don't have an issue with them.
There is some nuance with Hezbollah, by the way. If you ask like Lebanese Christians,
just say.
Oh, let's talk about our favorite flags.
Oh, it was like overall, what my favorite flag? Yeah, Tom Brown should not have done what he did. A real terrorist. Okay, I don't understand why you wouldn't care if he's out there tweeting an image of a Jewish person on a pike. I don't understand why this problem can't be approached with.
Innocent victim in all this, that he was just doing his job, going about his day, and his business got ransacked there. But from where we are here, you know, it does that the officers are heading back.
I fucking despise local media, dude. What role they play in the boomer reactionary pipeline? Local media talking about $3 worth of fucking Doritos, like
you guys,
a bank
you guys
run.
kind of
okay, Ethan, but like,
go
ahead.
Here, you guys kind of get the point here. Here, I can put this full clip in the chat here. Because I mean, bro has literally the amount of things that this dude has has said that should, thank you, Katie. Please like the live. The amount of things that this dude has said and gotten away with is actually insane. And if any right-winger were to dare to say half the things that he said, they would be deplatformed. They'd probably be in prison, right? So there's this raging double standard where if you are like pro-German National Socialism, you get thrown in jail, you get ostracized. But if you are someone who supports the USSR, like for example, I'll show you this clip. This is very recently. This is very recently here. I'll show you guys.
What do you think it means that this guy ran as a socialist and anti-communism didn't work to stop him? That's big.
Yeah, I think we are in the heart of the imperial core. This is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
And the reality of the matter is, there's a lot of antagonism. There's no class consciousness in the United States of America. It's one of the things I try to address every day with my commentary. And I will say this, the conditions have deteriorated so much that everyday Americans, in spite of their lack of class consciousnness, are finally arriving at the conclusion that perhaps there is an alternative out there. There is an alternative that focuses on them.
And he thinks the alternative is left-wing communism, by the way. That's what he thinks the alternative is. He thinks you can actually have communism. You can actually have a prosperous society if you just have the right economic system, guys. It doesn't matter if you have completely disunified ethnic groups. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. All that matters is if you bring in the correct system and if you eliminate property. That's basically what he thinks is going to solve America, right? When America's problem is lack of ethnic unity. That is the most fundamental problem in America. That is the most fundamental problem in America, is we are no longer a people. We are no longer a people. When we were a people pre-1965, America was prosperous. America was prosperous pre-1965 because we were a people that was united. The other problem in America is unchecked capitalism, which he's correct about. That's another thing that he points out that he's actually right about, is that the other problem is unchecked capitalism. Capitalism is good insofar as it benefits, it brings welfare to the people, right? So I've made the example. There was a famous interview with Tucker where Tucker was talking about if you have a company that basically develops a technology that would put all semi-truck workers out of work, you would have to, as a government, you would not just allow this product to run rampant. You would have to put limits on it, or you would have to offer a program to all of these semi-truck drivers that are being put out of work for them to transition into the new industry. That would be what you would want to do as a government, because you are going to crash the economy and you're going to put all these hardworking Americans out of work if you don't do that, if you just allow for unchecked capitalism, right? Or another example is like international goods. We should really not be allowing... Yeah, I know Sneako will probably never debate me. But we should not be allowing this unchecked capitalism of international trade, right? Where we basically allow what? We allow for non-American goods, right? Because they can be, this is basically just immigration in the form of trade. Because basically in the same way, or what I should say is that modern immigration is actually it's actually downstream from all the issues with capitalism, unchecked capitalism, because that's why we're exploiting all these workers, because they cost less. That's what the H-1B program actually is. The H-1B program isn't about the best and the brightest, which I've talked about all the problems with the best and the brightest, quote unquote. No, it's actually about bringing in workers that will do the same job for cheaper. That's just capitalism. That's just unchecked capitalism. And the same thing applies to international goods, right? Unchecked capitalism brings in what? It brings in all these goods that we can get from non-Americans. We can boost external economies rather than boosting our own economies domestically, right? For the most part, capitalism is fine domestically, right? Capitalism doesn't have to be international. There's ways we can Christianize capitalism. This is what our dear brother Prax Ben, who just got received in the church, congratulations to him. I've called him out many times because even though I believe in corporatism for the most part, based on the medieval guild system that Codriano talks about, I don't really know if that's practical. I don't really know if that's practical for the United States. So what I advocate for is a Christianized form of nationalism as well, but of capitalism, right? I've talked about this many times on this show. So all this to say, guys, Hasan Piker's solutions, I was actually just thinking this. I would love to see a debate between, I would love to debate him. I would love to debate Hasan. But I would just love to see a debate between a far right and a far left. I think in general, that would be very interesting.
I got stopped by a cop who thought I was like making fun of Mao Zedong, which I never would and never will. Mao Zedong is a one of the great leaders of this world, okay? Insane. A man who changed the entire universe, the entire planet.
Mao Zedong literally killed more people than anyone. Mao Zedong literally killed more people than anyone. By the way, is the stream still working fine? Is the stream still working fine? It looked like it cut out there for a second. So anyways, so that was him talking about Mao Zedong, guys. Literally the worst, most egregious leader in world history. Not even exaggerating. I actually forgot to pull up. The actual video that, I don't know why it was crashing on my end, the stream, but thank you for letting me know it's working. The actual video that has gone viral this last week. Let me find, yeah, here it is right here. So this is, you guys know that Sam Hyde quote? You guys know the Sam Hyde quote? It's when we win, do not forget that these people want you broke, dead, your kids raped and brainwashed, and they think it's funny. When we win, do not forget that that's what these people are. That's how they are. Guys, that is Hasan Piker. And hear it in his own words.
We're going to keep bringing in immigrants in this country on purpose, just so they can fuck your sister, and then maybe even your daughter. We're going to destroy the white race, bitch. That's what we're here to do. We're going to...
So, they're telling us what it is they're actually here for, guys. And I've made this point many times on my show. I've made this point on my Instagram, where I talk about the data of what bringing in these people actually is causing. Guys, I made a video yesterday about Somalia. It's actually, I feel like these statistics are fake. You're telling me 99% of women and girls have to undergo genital mutilation in Somalia? 99% of them? You're telling me their average IQ is 68. They can't even be a McDonald's cashier. They don't even have the IQ to be a McDonald's cashier. You're telling me that 36% of their marriages are child marriages. 16% of their marriages are under the age of 15. Girls that are under the age of 15. 16% of their total marriages. 50% of their marriages are first cousin or closer. They are inbred marriages. This is the nation. And then now that they're here, guys, 89% of Somali immigrants that come here, 89% of them are on some form of welfare. 89%. Do you understand how insane that is? I'll show you guys. I actually broke down here. And if you guys sign up for my memberships, I'll send you this. I'll send you this breakdown because this is actually some of the stuff on immigration, that different studies, right? See, these are some of the different studies. So this is in the U.S. So non-U.S. citizens made up 44% in this particular study of all federal sentences. Of those non-citizens cases, 12% for drug trafficking. This is for illegal immigrants, by the way. So a lot of people will say that illegals are not disproportionate on crime, which is true partially, but there are certain crimes where they are overrepresented, such as drug trafficking and identity fraud. Identity fraud is another one. So these are the actual contributions. So Indian migrants, Asian migrants, European migrants, all are basically, you know, and actually African migrants and some Middle Eastern ones as well, are actually net givers. These are the ones who are net takers, right? Mexican migrants, Salvadorian migrants, these are net takers in the economy. It's even worse in Europe. Europe tracks this a lot better than the United States does. So you can see the migrants that come from these places. This is no surprise. You know, North America, Scandinavia, Oceania, and Japan and the UK are all net givers. This is insane. So in the Netherlands, Somali migrants are $1.1 million net takers. $1.1 million net takers from the economy. But you can see these are the migrants. So it's interesting because in Europe, this is why I don't really trust the American data. Because, okay, why is it that the Middle Eastern immigrants are plus 700,000 here, but in the Netherlands they're negative 624,000? That type of data is interesting to me, right? That type of data is interesting to me. But I wanted to get to the main thing is crime. So like Denmark does a good job of tracking the actual like who's actually committing these crimes, and the violent crime conviction index relative to Danish natives is, so out of every 100 Danish natives that actually commit these crimes, 386 Lebanese descendants, Somali 316, Syria 312, Iraq 268. So basically over 2 to 4 times higher than the Western migrants. They're overrepresented. So these guys, these nations that are actually still tracking this, we can see that the violent crime, the migrants coming from these nations are substantially overrepresented. And then we have people like Hasan Piker literally saying that that is why they're bringing them here. They're bringing them here to grape our women and our children. Germany also, shockingly, does a good job of tracking this. You can see significantly overrepresented, 8 to 16 times higher from Syrian nationals, 8 to 14 times higher for Afghan nationals. Guys, I've pointed out before, this stuff doesn't actually matter because this is like supplemental to the argument. National identity is what's most important. But also, we have an obligation to protect our women and children from this. Sweden, same thing. First and second generation, 63% of convicted grapists. Only 25% of the population are, by the way, that's a huge chunk. So 25% of Sweden's population are first or second generation immigrants. That's insane. But they make up 63% of convicted grapists. 84% of aggravated grape. So the nations that actually track this properly, guys, you can see how bad it is. I also have stuff on welfare rates. Guys, if you're interested in this, you can sign up for my members, and I will send it to you via email. So anyways, guys, so all that being said, we are going to deport Sneako. We are going to deport Hasan Piker. Let's go over the super chats, and then I'm going to cut to a members-only live stream here in a moment. So thank you, anti-retardism. Wait, why is it not showing on the screen? It's not showing on the screen. What the freak? I'll have to figure out why it's doing that. Interesting. Anyways, anti-retardism sent $20 and said, you get 20 for the intro. Thank you. Thank you for that. Intro Veli said, America will be a Hispanic Catholic majority by 2050. Cry about it. W. Pope Leo. LOL. Yeah, I refuted that. That's obviously nonsense because we're going to end migration and we're also going to deport a lot of you back to Mexico, where you should be making Mexico great. That doesn't mean that that's going to apply to all Mexicans. But obviously all the illegals, and that's going to be a huge starting point. Of course, a resident Indian sent $5. Thank you for the Indian tax. Man, it's really pissing me off that this is not working. And the righteous giraffe said, Hasan, the ends justify the means, Piker. Thank you for the super chats. All right, guys. So thanks for the super chats. I'm going to cut to a members only live stream here. So if you want to be a member, You can sign up. I do these at the end of every stream, or at least I try to. And I give you guys quotes from saints on World War II and race and nationalism. So let me do in 1 minute here. In 1 minute, we're going to cut to the members only live stream. So thanks, guys, for joining. Please follow me on Instagram at RealBenMichael. That's where I'm most active. And also, please like the live and subscribe if you are not already subscribed to the channel. And I should be back on Thursday. I'll be back on Thursday for a live stream as usual. I think I'm going to stop doing a regular stream on Saturdays because I haven't been able to make it. Let me know what you guys think about that. Saturdays are usually my lowest viewership too, so everybody's busy doing stuff on Saturdays. All right, guys. I'll see you Thursday. Hello, hello, hello. What's good, y'all?